Some of the things that scares us away, especially if we are new to Photoshop, is the initial settings. And that's what I want to show you, the page setup. Let's assume you want to run a setup for an A4 paper, which is 8.27 by 11.65. You must be familiar with that one already. Okay, so if you want to do that, when you come, the first thing you might be greeted with is the new document or create new or anything, anywhere you see new. In fact, when you go to file menu new, you will see the new document. But however, let's assume this is your first time. This part where you have the preset details, don't be confused about it. They are just trying to tell you, organize what you want inside Photoshop. They give you that preference. And I'm going to show you one important thing you should not neglect. But let's start with the name first. First of all, give it a name of your choice. Okay, let's call it New Home Design. Okay, and then the width, like I said, is an A4. But here is the part where many of us might get lost, because you see a lot of things here and you don't just understand what's points, what's pickers, what's pixels, what's inches. Please use the one you are familiar with. For me, I'm familiar with inches very, very well. Okay, and then this aspect where you have the orientation. Remember, orientation is just two things: either it is portrait or it is landscape. When it is landscape, you will see that the value here will be exchanged. Okay, so I want it to be portrait. Now this is the one of the most confusing parts. Okay, like I said earlier, I was going to say it. There is still one more. This part where you have the artboard checked or unchecked, whichever one it is. If you know you want to have several pages, kind of like in Corel. In Corel, you have several pages on your canvas. You can just have one canvas and several pages. But here you don't have pages. You only have more canvases. And what you call canvas in Corel is artboards in Photoshop. So you can have your artboards spread across your screen like 200 in just one document. Okay, just as you have several pages in CorelDRAW. Okay, so that's what this artboard is for. When we get into the document, you will see, and then this resolution. In fact, if you are a new person and you meet this thing in 72, please, if you don't want to confuse yourself more, like run away quickly, this was one of the things that chased me away from Photoshop. Please change it back to 300. By default, it's always coming at 72. You will see it here, 72 pi. But everyone I've always worked with, I always like to put it at 300. Otherwise, whatever you are designing will look very blurry and pixelated. So you don't want to have that issue. So just do 300, the one you understand. Leave these settings the way it is. You see this color mode, if I were you, I would leave it at RGB. But I know that most CorelDRAW users, especially the printers in Nigeria, they like to use CMYK, RGB. In fact, some of them are very glued to CMYK. RGB is for screen. It's just for anything you design and post online, social media, for phone view. But you see CMYK is only good for printing. I have a video tutorial that shows how to convert your already done design in RGB to CMYK. I will put it in the description and I will also link it here so you can go and watch that one. Okay. Even sometimes also, if you are doing a design in RGB and somebody requests for it in CMYK and you are stuck in between showing them on phone, the view of it on phone, and different from that of the one they will use to print, you can always have two versions in Photoshop. Okay, in the coming days I might do a tutorial of that. But for now, if you want to do a design that is just on screen, do RGB. Even if it's not on screen, still maintain RGB. When you are ready to print, you could always convert to CMYK, and the video for this is in the link in the description. Okay, so all these other settings, 8-bit, just leave them the way it is. And then somebody will ask, We only have inches here. We don't have feet because CorelDRAW users, they do banners, they do design banners a lot. So they will say there's no feet here. Why is there no feet? Well, for that one, Photoshop has its reason why it does not have feet. But we who have been designing Photoshop for years, I mean since 2018, this is 2024, and we have been designing since 2018 with Photoshop. We've always had a way around it. I have a very trending video on how to convert your Photoshop design work to from flyer to banner size, and you will not have issues. Okay, so don't worry about that one. The video is in the description also. You can also go and watch that one. So but if you are done with this preliminary settings for this particular new document or page setup or artboard setup, just click create and then you are done. I'm sure by now, whatever you see on the screen is coming up. Whatever you see on the screen will be familiar. But here is one thing. I said that in CorelDRAW you have canvas, and then in Photoshop we have artboard. You can see the way it names this one artboard 1. You may not see that in CorelDRAW, but you can always rename your artboard just by coming to the layer section. Double click on it and rename it to anything you want. Let's say first flyer. And you duplicate here with Ctrl J, not Ctrl D. In CorelDRAW, you do Ctrl D. Yes, I understand. If you want to change your shortcut, the beautiful thing about Photoshop is that you can change your shortcut to look like that of CorelDRAW, where you are coming from, just to get familiar with the place first before you start having to memorize a shortcut. You can just change it quickly from Photoshop to CorelDRAW. If you want that kind of video, you can leave me a comment and I will definitely want to create that for us. Okay, so you see, when I duplicated, it gave it a name, first flyer copy. If you also duplicate again, it will give it another name, first flyer copy 2. And that's how it is. So if I zoom out now, you will see all the artboards. This means that I can work here, and work here all at the same time, which is not like that in CorelDRAW. I'm sure you know. You only have pages and pages, and you just have one small workspace or canvas that you work in. So that is it about setting up your page in Photoshop as a CorelDRAW new user to Photoshop. Well, if you want this journey to continue, you always know what to do. Just type on the comment section that you want a part 2 of this video, and we will go from there. I will see you in the next one. Make sure to like this video and subscribe, and also click the notification icon so that you can know when I post the next one. I'll see you. Bye. Peace out.